The Companies and Allied Matters Bill 2020, passed by the Senate and recently signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari, has generated a lot of debate and misconceptions recently. Now, to clear the air on the 2020 Cama Act, let's get some explanation from a seasoned legislator in person of Senator Ita Enang.
The Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020 is an improvement, a great improvement on the 1990 edition of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, which came into force on 2nd of January 1990. And so the Act has been in operation for 30 years. And after 30 years, a lot of evolution has happened in Nigerian corporate law practice and even in the international best practice. And so that has to be incorporated into the 2020 Cama Act, for which I congratulate the National Assembly and Mr. President. There is a question that has agitated the minds of the people that, and it's wrong, that the Companies and Allied Matters Act targets churches. The Companies and Allied Matters Act is made of about 900 sections. And of the 900 sections, only about 18 or 19 sections relate to registered trustees. And that is corporate, that is voluntary organizations, civil society organizations, or non-governmental organizations. Now, the rest relates to companies, winding up of companies, operation of companies, how you treat monies in dormant account, the process of registration and operation of business names, and other matters relating to operation of limited liability companies, public limited liability companies, companies limited by guarantee, and then companies limited by incorporated trustees. Now, one of the matters that really has been misunderstood and of course marketed by persons who have not read the Act relates to incorporated trustees, which the people say that it is targeting churches. I want to say that there is no such targeting of churches or religious organizations. To make it clear, I want to read the provision that is contained in the Companies and Allied Matters Act 1990, which came into effect on the 2nd of January 1990. And I want to read from the raw hard copy of the 1990 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 1990. This is the raw hard copy from my chambers. And I'm reading, if you see page 1521, where the Act starts, Companies and Allied Matters Act, you will see that 2nd January 1990 is when it came into effect. Now, I will read the section relating to incorporated trustees, and I will read the one in the 2020 Act to show that there is no difference. It says in section 673 of the 1990 Act, where one or more trustees are appointed by any community of persons bound together by custom, religion, kinship, or nationality, or by any body or association of persons established for any religious, educational, literary, scientific, social, development, cultural, sporting, or charitable purposes, he or they may, if so authorized by the community, body, or association, hereinafter in this part of this Act referred to as the association, apply to commission in the manner hereinafter provided for registration under this part of this Act as a corporate body. So that members will not, the listeners will not lose memory, I read in quick succession the provision of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, which has just been passed by the National Assembly and assented to by Mr. President. It is as voluminous, more voluminous than that, and contains more matters. He reads, Section 823. Where two or more trustees are appointed by any community of persons bound together by custom, religion, kinship, or nationality, or by any body or association of persons established for any religious, educational, literary, scientific, social, development, cultural, sporting, or charitable purposes, they may, if so authorized by the community, body or association in this act referred to as the association, apply to the commission in the manner provided for registration under this act as a corporate body. There is no difference between the provision in the 1990 Act and the same provision in the 2020 Act. So persons who have spoken on this matter may not have gone into reading to find out that there is no difference. The only thing that has been introduced, which is in accord with the current best practice, is the process for managing the affairs of the trustees if there is any infraction. And the law says in section 839, the commission may by order suspend the trustees of an association and appoint an interim manager or managers to manage the affairs of an association where it is reasonably believes that A, there is or has been any misconduct or mismanagement in the administration of the association. B, it is necessary or desirable for the purpose of 1. Protecting the property of the association. 2. Securing a proper application for the property of the association towards achieving the object of association. 3. Public interest, or the affairs of the government are being run fraudulently. First, this does not relate to churches at all. There is nowhere in the Act, either in the 1990 Act and the 2020 Act, where you hear churches. You hear any group of people who are bound together by religion. So this section binds Christians, Muslims, atheists, those who worship nothing, those who even worship Ogun, those who worship iron, those who worship water. It applies to them. And it applies to ethnic bodies, tribal associations or those who are bound together by any charitable purpose. And I want to say, please, Nigerians, Mr. President, in coming to a decision to assent to this act, had made sure, just like the legislature did, that all the members of the public were heard. And in all the reasons that were heard in not assenting to it in the 8th Assembly, none of the questions relating to registered trustees was ever one of the reasons. And in the public hearing, there was no objection raised to this section. And I want to say that the National Assembly is equally balanced, and they are yoked together. There are Muslims, there are Christians. While this matter was being discussed on the floor of the House of Representatives of 360 members, or the Senate of 109 members, no Christian raised the question that Christianity is being targeted by Section 839 or Section 823 or any provisions. And this section had been in operation from 1990 under the Babangida administration, till July or August this year, when Mr. President assented to this act. So please let us know that this law is simply a law to operate and regulate companies and allied matters.